So hello world, welcome back to another one of my videos. It's been about over a week now since I did my last video. We're gonna try to make this work. We're gonna try to make this video work in while I'm driving, because yeah, it's definitely been very, very busy, stressful time in my life. Anyways, you guys are gonna have to put up with the portrait video. I'm sorry. I've tried like twice already to do a video in landscape, and unfortunately the way the mount on my phone works, like it works, but every little bump in the road, the phone just starts going boop, boop, boop. So I'm just like, I'm not, and that becomes a driving distraction. So we're not going to do that. I'm sorry. You'll just have to deal with this right now. Anyways, I just got done with my first CNA test, and my hair looks awful today. I don't know what's wrong with my hair. And I passed it. Good news. Okay, a little further, guy. Thank you. I did pass it. Wow, that traffic light did not stay green for very long. I did pass it. I got an 87%. I only got like 10 questions wrong. And funny enough, though, one of the things that I thought was really funny was, well, and this goes back to something I said in a previous video, which was that, why is my nose itch so much right now? It's bugging me. And that was the fact that, don't look at my voice right now. That was the fact that I had talked to the place I'm going, Meds. Where's my name tag I have to wear? And they told me that there was no accommodations they could give me for my mental disorders. You know, because I got some learning disorders and things like that. So, you know, suffice to say, I really needed those, like, accommodations and stuff like that. And I was really worried that I was going to have a hard time, especially when it came to testing. And sure enough, they gave us 1 hour. We had 75 questions. And sure enough, there were so many noises. I mean, I haven't really done very much in-person testing, but there was just so many noises going around. There was people talking. I mean, it was supposed to be a quiet study hall, but I'm sitting there like, please, stop talking. The one girl was like over by the front desk, and she was getting her like test graded, and she was sitting there like making all these noises and coughing, which I thought was really weird, being that we were all supposed to be doing our best. And she's sitting over there like coughing and everything, and I'm just like, you're distracting me. Honestly, like, out of the 10 questions I got wrong, I knew the answers to them. I knew all the answers. I knew, like, and I am so glad they give you feedback. They hand the test back to you, and they let you, excuse me. They let you read what you got wrong. I love that. I think that's great. But I tell you, every one of them, it was like, reading it close, it was like, I knew that answer. It was just, I wasn't really sure, because usually what it was for me, okay, I would say probably half of them, I didn't fully understand the question because the wording was really weird. And of course she tried to tell me, she's like, yeah, you need to pay really close attention to the negatives, you know, like the knots and things like that. But I was like, no, that's not it. I saw those. It was when the wording just wasn't clear to me, which again, it's kind of more of my learning disabilities. I can read and understand, but there's just some of them where my brain just kind of goes, not sure. Like, are you actually asking what I think you're asking, or are you asking something else? And that just was straight up. Well, that's interesting. We moved? It was an Aldi. Well, where are you moving to? It was just completely closed down. All the signs were gone. I was like, what in the world? So it was just like little questions like that just really, it just really bugged me. So, there was other ones that were like, and I mean, they also ask you questions like, what do you do first? What is the best thing to do? Which, funny enough, I wasn't like terribly bad at those ones. Those questions were basically like, I don't think I got too many of those wrong. One I got wrong was it was saying, oh, your patient has suddenly fainted, or you suddenly notice them to go fainting and unresponsive, and then like the answer, it said, well, what do you do first? And I said, well, activate the alarm, basically the emergency response alarm. I was like, well, that would make sense. You see the person go unconscious, like you need to get help, because it's not my job to diagnose what's going on. I need to report that immediately. But apparently the correct answer was determine the unconsciousness. I was like, huh? I was like, why? You just said in the wording, I observed the person go unconscious. Don't I need to go get help now? Whatever. Anyways, I don't want to waste time on just ranting about that, but as far as the accommodations go, like, because supposedly we're told that the state exam right now is not timed, but at any minute, the state exam could change that. The state could change that. And I said, well, technically, the bad thing about us being so unsure about if that could change is the fact that once the state does change that, then the state does need to provide accommodations to those with learning disabilities under the ADA. The ADA regulates that you have to provide reasonable accommodations to students with learning disabilities, and the state is no exception. They would have to put in place the ability for someone like me to apply to say, look, I have a paper in hand that shows I've been diagnosed with learning disabilities, ADHD, as well as some other things. You can't refuse me a little extra time, extra 30 minutes on my test, or quiet. I mean, at the very least, I don't know why the school couldn't provide me with a quiet testing space. That was weird. It was like a bridge with ramps on it, but the whole thing was like closed. I don't come up in this. This is the Independence area, and I just don't come up here very often. So besides that, also updates on the schooling situation. Last week was the last was the last week for my English class in college, and then this week is the last week for my psychology class. Well, let's just say I'm very, very upset about that situation, because like my instructor was consistently, I feel she was very harsh on my essays, way too harsh. And she like, I remember some of my earlier essays, she was sitting there giving me like a 60-70% on, and at first it was kind of like, okay, I get it, I understand, maybe this isn't the best way I should have structured this essay or whatever. Excuse me, I gotta sneeze. Right as I'm coming up on a traffic light too. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that wasn't the best way for me to structure the essay. But then as I got closer to the end, I was expecting that, maybe her teaching style was more the kind of tear down, build up style. But nope, that never changed. She still continuously, in my opinion, was very much harsh on. It was pretty harsh on my essays. It was also kind of weird that it ended last week because we had 2 essays due. We had a final essay as well as our 4th essay due on the same day, which I don't know why that happened. And then my work, I should have been better prepared. My work decided to work me 11 days in a row right in the week that was my finals for English. And then at the same time, I got, like clockwork, sat down in the office and talked to about my attendance, and that really burned me with the fact that I shared very personal things with my supervisor and my manager. Did I talk about that? I literally can't remember. Yeah, so basically, I shared all these personal things about my struggles and what's going on in life, and then just like clockwork, they sit me down in the office and wrote me up for my attendance. And it really, really upset me because I was just like, look, you know what's going on in my life, and not even once during the sit down, even if you just sat there and acknowledged that I have told you these things, and you said, hey, we're doing this because corporate asked us to do this, then I would have been a little more understanding. I was like, that was a blow. That was a huge blow to me as a person. And I don't trust you. I don't trust you after being treated that way. Anyways, I'm going to try to cut this video here very soon. That just, it was, I had a very big freak out on Sunday. I ended up getting my final essay turned in. But then, and I thought it was great. We were supposed to respond to an article written by Reed. What's his first name? Robert Reed. He was, back in the 90s, he was Bill Clinton's... Frick. My brain can't remember right now. I'm kind of burned. I also forgot to take my medication this morning, which... Great job, Amelia. But anyways... I thought it sounded good. I even had it proofread by a friend of mine who has a master's degree in English, and he was like, oh yeah, it looks great. I think this is like one of your best papers. And then she goes and grades it a 66. And then I didn't get my 4th essay turned in just because of everything that I had going on. And I was just, because we were allowed to turn stuff in late with a 30% discount on grade, and I was like, okay, fine, that would be acceptable. Well, and then of course, work continued to be frustrating, and then I had to get ready for the CNA exam in my class on Wednesday, and this is really important to me, so that took a lot of time. Needless to say, I ended up not getting my essay turned in. I was going to try to get it turned in yesterday morning, and then I get a notice that my instructor manually graded it a 0. And then for some reason, something I did actually turn in, like several weeks ago, she also graded it a 0, and then in the comments wrote, this was rather abrupt. I'm like, I'm sorry? This is literally what I did. I did literally what the instructions said. Can you explain this rather abrupt to me? Basically, I'm going to protest the grading because I ended up failing the class. I failed it by like 40 points or so. That is definitely not a fair grade. I worked so hard on that class. I learned a lot. I learned how to use the MLA. I can understand if this was like English 102 or English 103. This is freaking English 101, and I was getting graded like I should have had a mastery in English. And really what it came down to, what frustrated me the most, was I was getting the graded the way I was because I was not writing the way she wanted me to write. Even though my one friend, he has a master's in English, was like sitting there even telling me, he's like, English is expressive, English is creative. It's, yes, this is about academic writing, but he's like, you just need to know the basics. The point is, don't be going around and the main point is just don't be, don't be completely violating. Matter of fact, funny enough, even like some of the stuff we were responding to even had little nibbits in it about, like, making comments about, well, the person uses this particular kind of language to really challenge the academic society. And I'm like, yes, that's the point. There would be no progress in English or academic writing if it wasn't for people challenging the status quo. And the fact that my instructor was basically giving me a slap on the wrist. Come on, guy, go. Please go. This guy's, like, not turning. He has plenty of opportunity to turn. Because I wasn't doing it the way she wanted me to do it. And I mean, especially when it comes down to the fact that she's even getting upset that I'm not using Times New Romans in my essay. I mean, she claimed she wasn't taking points off for that. And then she tries to use the MLA handbook to say, oh, it says in there that you have to use it. And I'm like, please point to it where it says I have to use Times New Romans. Nowhere in the MLA version 8, which I even got her to confirm what version we were using, does it specify Times New Romans. So I can use Calibri. Anyways, I am getting myself my Dunkin'. Ooh, that bump really bumped. I love Dunkin' Donuts, by the way, if anybody ever needs to know that. I didn't get it before class because I was a little running behind. Still got there on time, though, but didn't have that time. Anyways, I think I should just leave this name tag in the car so I don't lose it. Anyways, I'm really frustrated over that, and I am definitely going to be protesting my grade for my English class. And then on top of that, oh, where's my mask? Where's my mask? Then on top of that, I mean, psychology, I got like 87% so far. My last exam is this Sunday. So as long as I get between 80 and 90%, I'm fine. I'm going to be passing my psychology class with a fairly good grade. I enjoyed psychology. I went into this whole thing enjoying English. I love writing. It does intrigue me. But obviously my instructor doesn't like the way I wrote. Like, she even made a comment about, this doesn't seem like an essay. It seems more like just a string of sentences. Like, which, okay, maybe she's right about that, but I feel like she's definitely making a whole lot more dinging than what was worth it. The fact that I miss one assignment takes me all the way from a B to a fail grade is, well, maybe a C plus, to a failing grade. There shows that there was some sort of unfair grading going on. I really don't, yeah, definitely, yeah, like, and then even something I did turn in late, she gave me like a 0.1, and then apparently you also lose a point for missing an assignment, which, why do you take even more points off for missing an assignment? That doesn't, and it's only 1 point, that's not going to make a huge impact, but at the same time, why in the first place? I mean, you're already losing out on getting any of the points from that. Anyways, I'm protesting my grade in English because I enjoy English, but I will say, she did not provide me constructive, positive feedback. And when I asked for feedback, she just sat there and told me, oh, you'll have to schedule a Zoom session with me over Starfish. I'm like, just write me some feedback. Write me legit feedback. You're an English teacher who apparently can't write messages with proper grammar, and you mess up spelling. But then apparently you also don't want to write feedback. If you're this much of a butthead as an English teacher, you should have the ability to write me very well written back feedback. That's one thing right there that bugs me, is not being able to give me feedback. You have to do your feedback over Zoom. Yeah. Anyways, I am going to go inside and get my drink. I'm going to end this. This is like one of my second longest videos. I don't know what to do about it. Because I love learning. But yeah, the English thing, I went into the class excited, and then now I'm graduating like completely dud. I'm like, I don't feel like writing another essay after the way I got treated. You were killing my enthusiasm for the art. So, I'll see you all guys in another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you later. And my voice feels really weird right now. Bye now.